Hi guys, Kai here from Kai's Kreations. So tonight I was playing around with some new things I got from the Dollar Tree and making some organizational type cubbies or holders for my things. I don't know what you'd call them, but I'm gonna do a video soon about my wall organization and a lot of DIY craft organization or craft room organization, and that's gonna be probably a bigger video, but I thought, well, I'll do everything in that video. But then I started thinking about it and I thought, that'd be a really long video. And a lot of the stuff I've already done, so it can go kind of quickly just showing you what I did instead of actually showing you how I did it step by step by step. And this one is really simple and easy. Hopefully this video won't be too long. I have prepped a lot of the things already and done some of the work so that hopefully the video will go a little faster. And this one is also not something I got from another DIY. Couple of it is little bits and pieces. I got ideas from other DIYs, but for the most part, this is my own DIY that I came up with myself and some little storage options for some of the littler things that we have in our craft rooms. So, basically, I'm gonna get started. Let me see. First of all, I wanted to show you guys. I don't have much room here. My craft table is a mess right now because, as I said, I'm in the middle. I've reorganized all the walls and my shelves, and now I'm in the middle of reorganizing my desk area. So right now, and in prepping for this video, it's a mess. But anyway, so forgive me on that. Now these, you can do this any way you like. You can do this in an old jar, a box, whatever you want. You don't have to have these things. But I got these at Dollar Tree a while ago, and I've heard some, if you're local here in Post Falls, Idaho, especially, that the waste management or whatever they call the trash service here, if you go down to their office, they will actually give you these free. But they had them for $1 at Dollar Tree, and I thought they were pretty darn cute. They look like just exactly like miniature trash cans that we put out on the curb and recycling bins. And one had a trash can thing on it, and one had a recycling thing, and they actually really do roll. Not that that matters. But so what I've done is I've put these up on the shelf on my desk, and every time I have like a little scrap of something, like, I don't know, a little scrap of ribbon left over or string or one wood block or something like that, or some beads that don't necessarily have a home, like I finished off all of it except that one little piece, I throw them in one of these. And then that's just an easy way for me to clean up my desk space really fast and just throw them in the bins. I just literally throw stuff in there, guys. And then I figured when they get full, like they are now, it might be time to take them out, sort them into some sort of other holder so that I can find them easier and, put similar things with similar things. And then these can be emptied to put more stuff in. Originally, I kind of thought, well, when these get full, that means I can't hoard any more scraps. But we all know, first of all, that's not going to happen. Second of all, there might be some even better scraps. So I think what I'll do tonight is show you how I'm going to reorganize these and some other things that I have that I found laying around in jars and bins here and there, because as I said, I've been cleaning out everything. And also show you the process of going through those things and sorting through them. You might find some stuff that you thought, you know what, I might have thought I'd use that little piece of string or whatever it is 3 months ago, and it's been sitting here for 6 months now, or whatever, and I'm not going to use it. So you just throw it away or give it to somebody else, whatever, depending on what it is, and then sort the things that are really worth keeping. Okay, so now that I've talked way too much about those, we're going to put those up there for now. And I'm going to start by showing you the base for all of this organizational stuff I'm doing tonight is going to be a Lazy Susan. So I got one of these at Home Depot. I think it was about $3 to $5. It wasn't very expensive. It's, I forget the actual name of it. I should look it up. But it's a Lazy Susan base, basically. And it's just the mechanisms for the Lazy Susan. I don't know if you can see the little ball string thing in there. And then I got these stovetop covers from the Dollar Tree. They come 2 to a pack, 1 big, 1 small. And it's not going to matter to repaint or what this side looks like because that side's going down and you're not going to see it. So we're basically going to cover this with contact paper on the top, glue this to the bottom, and then that's going to be the base for our other things that I'm going to show you tonight that are going to sit on it. So first, I started putting on some contact paper. I got a roll of contact paper that I like. My whole craft room is in shades of blue, so this is the only blue I could find, and I liked it. So basically, this was $1 for a big roll. It's got 18 inches by 1.5 yards, so pretty good amount for $1. I got a couple of those because I'm going to do some other stuff in my craft room with them. But I cut out a circle. So what I did is I put this flat on it and I traced around the bottom edge, which is actually the top, where the decorated part. So the decorated part down, you trace around the bottom there. And you know how they say measure twice, cut once? Well, I measured it 3 times, and every time I put it in there, it was a little too big. So what I did is I just went around the back really carefully with my pencil and went about 1/8 of an inch in all the way around, and then cut that out. And it finally came out a tiny bit too small, but way more perfect than the other ones. So then the other thing is, in putting this in here, you've got to start it on one edge, and it's hard. I did get a couple bubbles in there, but it's really hard to get no bubbles. But I'm OCD, so I tried really hard. So you start on one edge, and I just carefully move it over. I'm going to see if I can put this down so I can show you. As I'm peeling off the back, see, this is the front, I'm just going like this. Pull it up a little bit, and then smooth it down. Pull it up a little bit, and then smooth it down with your finger. Pull it up a little bit, smooth it down. Pull it up a little bit, smooth it down. And I don't have a scraping tool or anything fancy. I'm just using my finger. Pull it up a little bit, smooth it down. Hopefully it's not up too much on this edge. Up a little bit, smooth, up a little bit. And then we're just going to do the last bit. There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's almost perfect with only a couple little tiny bubbles that are barely noticeable. And now that is all decorated. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this upside down. And I'm going to put the picture right side up just so it kind of centers me. And I'm going to get that Lazy Susan. And I'm going to figure out where the middle is that I want this to go on. Let me see. First of all, I don't think it matters what side you put it on. But I noticed earlier one side was kind of twisting easier than the other. Let's see. I know it sounds crazy, you guys, but okay, that seems a little slow. That seems even slower. Okay, so we're going to do that side down. Okay, so I'm going to put it down and just kind of, I'm going to, first of all, make sure this thing is lined up straight like a square, and then try to center it here on this thing, and I've got a marker. So, let's see. I'm gonna just say, let's see, okay, that looks about the same distance. That looks about the same distance, but less, so I'm gonna scoot it up a little bit. That's about a finger. Let's see. Finger. Let's see here. Let's do thumbs. 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 I moved it again. This is easier said than done, guys. Let's see here. Well, let me see my pen. Almost to the end. Almost to the end. Okay, so that's almost perfect. This one is almost to the end, almost a centimeter. Oh, that one's, okay, so it needs to come a little bit down this way. That is now right to the end almost. Right to the end almost. Okay, I think it needs to come down again a tiny bit. Okay, right before, okay, right at the end of that. Don't mind me, I'm just doing measurements, talking out loud basically. You could probably do this with a ruler, maybe it'd be a little faster and a little more accurate, but I I think it's going to be okay. So, it's about where I want it to be. I'm going to hold it down carefully. I'm going to draw a circle around the inside. And I'm going to draw around the edges of the outside. Just like that. Okay, take that off. Now I know where to put my glue. Now, in the future, I may use some better hot glue or E6000 if this doesn't hold well. But for now, I'm just using some regular hot glue. I would recommend, though, doing the Gorilla hot glue because it does have a stronger, more permanent hold. Okay, so I'm going to put a daub in the middle of each corner. Not too close to the edge, but a good daub there. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to go around the edges of the circle with a nice good thick line as well. And this is running out on me, so I need to stick another one in there. Okay, there we go. Okay, like that. Because I don't really care if it seeps through the edges. I really want this to form a good sturdy bond. Okay, that should be good. Okay, now I'm going to carefully start at the top and line this up and just put it down right over the lines I drew. And then I'm going to press down nice and firm and just hold it there for a few minutes. The top wants to turn, but that's okay. Still putting pressure on the bottom. Okay, I think that'll be okay. It looks a little bit off-centered, like it moved a tiny bit, but you know what? Like I said, I think it'll be okay. As long as you're not putting anything, you know, super heavy on one side or the other. So again, just going to hold that there for a second. Trying to see. Okay, let me see here. Okay, that should be good. And then we can even turn upside down, push down, and let's test it out. There we go. It's turning pretty good, guys. Not too bad. Alright, so I'm going to set that aside because we want that. Oh, look, see, some of the glue came through the holes. Perfect. So that's holding really good. I actually, you know what, I might even put a little bit more on those holes now that I see where it's at, because that'll just reinforce the hold on there even more. There we go. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so all I did is the Lazy Susan has these holes in the end where obviously you could bolt it to something, but instead I filled those holes with glue from my glue gun, and went around the edge a little bit of each corner. So, you know, let that dry. Let's see, make sure it's not, yeah, it's not touching the top Lazy Susan, so it's not going to mess with that. So we're going to let that to the side and dry. And I need to paint some things, so I'm going to paint this and explain it later, if that makes any sense. I've got this pickle jar that we're going to be using for part of it that I've prepped. And with this lid, I'm going to use black chalk paint from the Dollar Tree. This one, chalkboard paint. And, but any paint will do. But I like to, you don't have to, but since it's not spray paint or necessarily super strong hold, and again, you can Mod Podge over this too, I'm going to scratch it up first. So what I did was, first of all, I have this handy dandy, I do have a rotary tool somewhere too, but I don't always use that one. Where is my other, oh, here it is. But I got this at the Dollar Tree a long time ago. It's actually for your nails. It's a little battery operated file. But it works really great on little projects like this. I don't know if you can see that, but what I did is I scratched up the lid with this, first of all over the lid, and in different directions. And then when I was done with that, and you can use, like I said, any rotary tool or file, or what I did afterwards you can just use a piece of sandpaper, and I just rough that edge up so the paint will stick to it even better. There we go. So that shiny top coat of paint they had on it is, you know, scratched up, so the paint's going to stick to it really good. Then I've got some chalk paint here ready. I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice good coat of chalk paint. Okay, being careful, start in the middle of the circle on the top and work your way out, and just give it a really nice good coat. This black chalk paint is great for this. And then I'm going to go around the edges, being careful because this has little ridges and dents in it, so I want to make sure I get in all those holes and dents or whatever. Okay, so I'm just going around the edges. That, smooth it out. Make sure the top gets smooth because some might have seeped over when I was doing the edges and made it bumpy. You don't want that. Okay, and then where my finger is, what I'm going to do is go underneath and just hold it from the bottom and cover where my finger was holding it. Okay, and then we're going to set this aside for a little while and let that dry while we work on other things. Okay, meanwhile, I just got paint everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna wipe my brush off a little bit and stick it in a cup of water I've got over here. Let that go ahead and wash off a little bit. And we'll set this aside because we may want to do a second coat. Got my handy dandy craft rag. I have a lot of craft rags I keep around also that help. Okay, so next, what I've done is I've gotten to sort those little things in the recyclables. I've gotten a couple things from Dollar Tree. Okay, first I got these. This is actually 3 sets. They come in little sets of 2 drawers, so they're actually pretty little. But I hot glue gunned the 3 sets together to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drawers now. And it looks like a little mini dresser or something. So I'm going to use that for some stuff, and I'll show you later. And then I got these 2 things. This was 2 drawers, $1 each, and they come in a set of 2. And again, I just glued one on top of the other with a hot glue gun, and I went ahead and put some labels on there. Now for these, the little drawer pull, I should have left one undone, but they were hanging down, and you had to kind of scoop your finger in there and carefully pick it up to pull the drawer out. Well, I didn't like that. I wanted them sticking out straight so I could easily just grab that drawer pull and pull it right out. So all I did was I flipped it this way, and I don't know if you can see, I put a little daub of glue, hot glue gun glue, on each one, and then made sure it was standing up straight and let that dry. So now you can see I can tap on these and they're not going anywhere. They're going to stick out straight, so I can just grab onto them and pull them. Then the other thing I did is I like that these are see-through and I can see what's in them. So when I used my label maker to make the labels, just got a little Dymo label maker, and you can do this on your computer, you can do little hand printed labels, whatever you want to do. But I picked the clear tape so you can see through the labels now as well. So the whole thing is see-through so you can see what's in it, but it does have a little label on there so you can also read what's in it. And so what I did is I kind of went through these bins earlier and saw what was in there just real quick, and that helped me determine what labels I was going to put on here, what kinds of scraps I would have. Okay, so there's those 2. Now, this one I have not yet put the labels on, so I thought I'd show you how I do that. The only thing I put in here so far is I had some of these little safety pin boxes, and 2 of them fit perfectly in that bottom drawer, so I did put that in there. Now I've got the labels, so I'll show you my process. Once I make all the labels, and these ones, it's not a see-through background, so if I had made them clear see-through labels, you would see the pattern through it and it'd be harder to read. So what I did is I went ahead and put these ones on a white background on the label maker, white tape. And I also realized that there's not enough room to put the label on top or below these little pools. So I figured I gotta put them on one side or the other. So I played around with it and decided, well, I could do one on one side, one on the other, left, right, or whatever. I didn't like the way that looked. So for me, I'm going to put them all on the left side, just going down like that. And that's going to be the way I personally like it. Again, like I said, you could put any kind of labels you want on these. Do what you want. Little hand-printed labels, little metal labels, whatever kind of things you want. So then the next thing I did is these come out. I don't have any that are done like that. But when the labels come out, they have a little extra edge on them. Well, I don't like that extra edge, especially if it's white, not clear. So I cut them down to where they're right on the edges of my label. Okay, so then I'm going to put them in order of the way I want them. So I know safety pins are on the bottom already. And then let's see. Candles are kind of a big thing. The little novelty candles. I don't know what you call them. Little votive candles. So that's going to go next. Then let's see. Magnets. Those are kind of heavy. So that can go next. And then, actually, you know what? I might even do magnets. Then candles on top of that. Then let's see. Miscellaneous scraps. Maybe that'll go there. And then tags and large ribbons. So now I know where each one is going to go on the drawers. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these off. So if you have a label maker, you have to fold them in half, and then the back pulls off in 2 sections, which is not always the easiest thing to do, but there you go. And then I'm just going to line this up on here, put it about in the middle. Oh, and this one, okay, this one I just realized is bumping into the drawer pull. So I might have to put it below. Let me see if that would work better. Okay, that works okay. I'm not super thrilled with it, but there you go. First label on. Okay, then tags. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, come on. And again, these, how I came up with these were some things I have in those little trash bins, but also some things I found laying around my desk that would fit in these little drawers. And I thought, okay, again, this whole storage tonight is getting rid of, or not getting rid of, but making a place for little tiny things that we have laying around in our craft area or office area. Okay, next one is miscellaneous scraps, which means anything that doesn't fit into one of these other categories will go in that drawer. Oops. Uh-oh. Okay. And I should have washed my hands after painting, but you know what? For time saving sake, and I don't own good editing software yet, we're not gonna. Okay. And it looks like these are a little forgiving on the drawers if you need to put your label down crooked and want to redo it or something. And the tags one is crooked, but I'm not really that worried about it, and I'm OCD. I think it looks cute anyway. So we're just going to keep going. Okay, this one is for candles. Okay. Come on. Okay. Put that right there. Okay. And then the next one is for magnets. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. And of course, having a hard time with this one. The faster you want to go, the slower things will happen. That should be a famous quote. Okay, come on. Come on, there we go. Okay, magnets. Okay. That. And then last but not least, those safety pins are in the bottom drawer, so we'll go ahead and label this one safety pins. Come on. These don't want to come off tonight. It really helps if you do fold them in half and actually crease them first. And then the second one's a little bit harder to get off, but just gotta get under there with your fingernails or something. And let's see. Safety pins. There we go. Okay, so that one is all labeled and ready to go now. And as I said, I used 3 of these little things from the dollar store. You can see the line, and just hot glue gun them together. Okay, so that one's done. This one is done and ready to go. So let's see, what's next? Oh, the pickle jar. I want to use pickle jar because I did see on another DIY, let me throw these away real quick, that someone had actually a really big pickle jar, but for time-saving purposes and etc., I'm going to use this jar for now. It's fine. This is just a medium-sized pickle jar. So what I did is, first of all, I've got to remove the labels, and I want it to stay see-through. But then I noticed the edge of this label is actually kind of pretty. So what I did is I took my X-Acto knife and I went around the inner circle to cut off the part that says pickles and great value. And I started doing that. So I'm going to continue doing that. I used my X-Acto knife. Again, got this at the Dollar Tree. But it wasn't seemingly as easy as I thought it was going to be. But I'm trying to get around the edge. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, okay. And just peel off all the middle parts. Okay. Try to get an edge up. There we go. So then you can get a big old piece on there. Alright, it's getting a little bit easier now, but it was hard to start, especially this white part. It wants to shred and not peel off in one big piece. Okay, let's try the other side. I've already cut around the edges. Now I'm trying to lift up where I cut and see if I can peel it off. But as I said, it's proving to be a little bit more difficult than I had hoped. Come on. Oh boy. This is not helping with my time-saving purposes, is it? Well, live and learn. See, nobody's perfect, guys. I do not have any photo or video editing software as of right now. And I'm a noob to this YouTube stuff, but you're going to have to bear with me. Okay, that was a bigger piece. Now, let's see. This white part, like I said, is proving to be a little bit of a pill. If I can get a big piece. There we go. Okay, that was a bigger piece, at least. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, that should do it. Okay, that's pretty good. So now I have that pretty decorative edge, but none of the actual pickle label that says anything about pickles. So I'm going to throw that away. Then on the back we had the paper label with the ingredients and, you know, nutrition information, all that stuff. So what I did with this is I started by peeling it off with my fingers, my fingernails, and getting all the edges off that I could. But again, that didn't do much. So what I did was, let me put this X-Acto knife away for a minute. Oh, I'm putting it away upside down. Come on. Okay, there we go. And then, so what I do is I have a couple tricks for paper labels like that. So, first of all, this is a tool I got at the Dollar Tree. It has this side, which I love for scratching things or rub-ons. This is really great for rub-ons, you guys. And then this side has a sharp, pokey edge, which you can use to poke holes in things. I don't know, I'm not even sure what this tool is exactly meant for, but I use it for so many different things, both ends. So, with the pokey edge, what I'll do is I'll go over one way and literally just scratch the label. Just scratch it like this. Like, say I'm going, what am I going right now? Vertically scratching it. Well, actually, it probably looks horizontal to you guys. And scratch it as much as I can. I'm doing it quickly. And then turn it the other way and start scratching it even more. And just work across, and you'll see little bits of paper are falling off already. So it's already working really well. And just keep scratching like this as much as you can get off. This is a really quick way to get the bulk of that label off. I don't know if you guys can see, but lots of the little pieces of paper are flying everywhere and coming off already. And I'm getting a little bit more aggressive with my scratching as I go on. And then I stop sometimes, so see, that's what it looks like. It's shredding it, basically. Stop once in a while and brush it like this, because now, as you can see, it's scratching a lot of that off. Okay, so I'm going to do this a little bit more and then show you the next step. I'm holding this tight because I want to scratch it really hard. Okay, there we go. Again, just go all the way through it, back and forth, one direction, and then turn your jar or whatever it is and go the other direction. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, that's pretty good that way. I'm gonna brush it off. Getting it all over my shirt. And turn it the other way and do it some more this way. And again, by now I'm getting a little bit more and more aggressive which each time I do it. And it starts really scraping a lot of that off. And it gets all up on your hook too, on your little poker. You just peel that off, keep going. And brush some of it off. And keep going. And you'll see most of the chunky parts of this paper label are now gone. See? That's how it looks now. So, now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my rag again, and I'm going to get some of this lovely little Crafter Help Goo Gone. Goo Gone or Goof Off are my favorite things for getting residue, stickers, labels, things like that off. So I'm going to open this up. And some people, you know, put it on the rag and then rub it and stuff like that, and you don't want to waste too much. So I'll start with that. I'll go ahead and put a little bit on this rag. But what I notice is it does kind of evaporate fast and soak into the rag, and then the rag's actually getting more of it than the jar is. So I'll prep it a little bit like that. And I might do that a couple times. Let's see. Find a clean spot. See, that got dirty already from the label. Find another clean spot next to it. Really soak it with some glue gone, and go over it again. And I'm kind of scratching through the other side of this rag too to really get it in there. And then sometimes if it's really stubborn, especially if it's flat, I've got paper all over you guys, especially if it's flat, I might actually just pour the Goo Gone on it. If you want to do that, you don't have to. It's up to you. What I'll do is pour a little bit in this cap so I don't waste too much. And especially because this is round and it's going to drip off. I'm going to start in the center and just very carefully pour it on there. There we go. Let that sit for a couple minutes. Well, a few seconds really. Find a clean spot of that rag again and start rubbing and scratching. There we go. And you can even, with the Goo Gone on there, take that poker thing, let's wipe it off, and scratch it some of these last little bits. Because now they're soaked in Goo Gone and they're going to come off really easily. So, just going to keep doing that. There's still a little bit of residue on here that I want to get off. So, I'm going to keep working at it for a minute here. Okay, and I'm going to wipe that other side because we'll get back to that in a minute, and I don't want that other label to come off or get too much Goo Gone on it. Okay, again, almost done. So I'm going to soak that. And I am using a generous amount for this label to get it really all off. But again, I barely dipped into this bottle, less than half, and this is only $1 at the Dollar Tree. So not really too expensive to do this. And on other labels, it may take more Goo Gone. Some labels, it may take a lot less. So, now I'm going to get a dry part of the rag and wipe this so you guys can see. Look at that. That label is gone. No residue, no label, nothing. So then, I'm going to take the part that had Goo Gone on it already, put a little bit more on my rag again, and I'm going to go around the whole jar just to clean it up and make sure there's no residue, even on the front. Go around the middle part of that label that I peeled off. Go around the edges. It just kind of cleans your jar or glass piece really nicely. And then I have before gotten this little, I don't know if you can see it, let's see, shipping, or I mean, date, you know, for when they go bad or whatever, expiration date. That's the words I'm looking for. If you rub really hard with the Goo Gone and scratch, you can get that off too, or you can use a razor blade. I'm gonna go over it with the Goo Gone a little bit and see if I can get it off, but if I can't, I'm not gonna worry too much about that right now because it's barely noticeable and I can always go back in later and get that. Yeah, it looks like the Goo Gone is actually getting that expiration date off pretty good, so I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna just do that a little bit, get most of it, if not all of it, off, and then move on. Okay, yeah, that's taking that expiration date off really nicely. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Then again, I'm going to take some dry tissue and just go around, because it leaves the Goo Gone stuff, leaves it really greasy. So I'm just going to go over it, and I might even later, you know, go over it with a wipey or wash it and then dry it. But just want to get all the little last bits of residue and any of that Goo Gone oiliness off of there. So I'm doing that, going around the edge. Let's see, I've got my fingers, let me see. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good, a bit less oily at least. Okay, got some on the inside edge. Okay, and then take a dry part of the rag again, like this. Okay, and like this. Okay, so now that is one really cool jar. Oh, there's some smudges. I'll worry about that later, guys. But one really cool jar with a little decorative label that we have to put stuff in. And I'm going to go back and see if that lid is dry. Let's see. It is not nearly as dry as I'd like it to be. So we're going to cheat for a second here. Hair dryer. Again, careful, it's really hot because it's metal and that just heated it up. Okay, it looks like that's helping that dry faster. I'm going to leave it to cool off for a second. I also just remembered I did not put the lid back on my Goo Gone. Big no-no. I have spilled that all over me before. We're going to put that back because we don't need that anymore. Let's see. And the hairdryer blew away some of my labels, so that might be fun in a minute trying to find those. I think I got them all. Okay, there. Yeah, there. Okay. Alright, so let me see if this is cooled off enough yet. It's definitely dry. And I might... I'm trying to decide if I want to do a layer of Mod Podge on this. I might do a layer of Mod Podge later, but I think for now I'm not going to. So, that's going to be the top of my jar. So, see, again, like I said... Regular old pickle jar. Again, I think these were actually from the Dollar Tree too. Took the back label off, cut the inside of the front label off so that it left this beautiful decor in there. And now I can put label on there. So, let's see. I had this label. And it would go outside the edge of that, but I think I'm okay with that. So I think I'm going to put that label on there. This was, like I said, another DIY I had seen what they had done was they called this big jar smalls, which meant all the small, tiny items in your craft room that were going to be thrown in there. And so I'm going to steal that name. Let's see. No. Let's see here. The flower would be about there. Okay. So, right about there, I think. And there. Okay. Trying to center this thing. So again, like I said, the label, because I had flowers on the end, does go past that label, but it doesn't bother me. I like it. So this is my official smalls jar of small stuff. Okay, so then, just to be creative, you know, because I'm a fun girl, my kids like these things called ugly monsters, I think. Let me see. Hold on. Ugly dolls. And at work, Dollar Tree, they had these miniature ones. So I went ahead and got a few of them. I didn't get some of the other ones. They were out of them. But I got these 3, and they were pretty cute. And I also like their names. So with their with my label maker, I made a label for each of their names and put them on their bellies, basically. So let's see. This is Babbo and Moxie. And this one is either pronounced Jiro or Giro, something like that. I don't know. But those are the names. So, I'm actually going to glue these to the top of my lid just for some fun decoration. And I'm deciding how they're going to go. I'm going to put these 2 back to back because they fit well. And I'm going to put him on the other side. And then there's room for another one if I do find another one. Okay, so, let's see. He's going to go right there. So, I'm going to get a little hot glue, and I'm actually going to put it on him so I know how much, or not too little or too much to put. Put it on his feet like that. Oops. Okay, well, a little got on his leg, but that'll be okay. Oh, and my hand's shaking. Gosh, why did that happen? Okay, there we go. Just going to push him down, and let's see. Yeah, he's pretty much where I want him. So I'm going to hold him down for a few seconds, let that dry. And again, this is like a totally unnecessary part of this tutorial or DIY, but it's fun. So, you know, if you want to add a little knob to the lid, obviously you still have to screw it off. But if these are strong enough, you might be able to use those. But it's just a little decor. You could add a little doorknob on there, a little drawer pull, little fun critters like I am. You know, I don't know, a bow. You could do anything you want, or you could leave it blank. And this is chalkboard black, so you could use a chalk pen or paint marker and write something on the top if you want to. You could use your label maker and do that. Whatever you want to do. It's your jar. You're going to be using it. You're going to be looking at it every day, so you make it how you want to. Oh, this one, her little feet are just tiny. Oh, and you know what I just realized? I put him back to back with the other one and then her on the side, but that's okay. That's alright. Okay. Hold Moxie down like that. And I might even, I'm trying to think if I want to put, I might go in later and put some hot glue gun and strengthen them. But now, like I said, so I've got my little friends on the top of this jar. And there's room for another little friend over there if I find another one. I've got my label on it. And then I had this stuff. Okay, this label says, I thought it'd be cute because this is small stuff we're going to be putting in here, to use that expression, don't sweat the small stuff. So let's see, don't sweat the small stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put these words kind of around their feet a little bit. Because I just, like I said, thought that would be fun. Okay, so, take that off. Come on. Take that off. Alright. Let's see. I think I'm going to actually cut closer down to these words so the labels are a little bit smaller. Which I've learned in the past is easier to do once you take that back off. So, took the back off first. If you're going to cut these labels down any smaller than they already are, it's especially horizontally wise, it's easier to take that back off first, then go ahead and use your little scissors and cut the parts you want off. Let's see here. Don't sweat. Okay. Come on. Oh, come on. This video is really long, guys. I apologize. But we are kind of almost done. Come on. Okay. Gosh. Okay. That's a little word. I think that's one of the littlest words I've ever done on my label maker, guys. Okay. Like size and amount of letters, both. Little word. Okay. And then it's funny because it's a jar for small things and it's called smalls, and then don't sweat the small stuff is in these tiny little small labels. So it's kind of ironic or funny. I don't know. I find amusement in stupid stuff, guys. So if you're still with me at this point in the video, you must really want to know how this is going to turn out or something, because this is way longer than I thought. But again, it's what happens when you don't have video editing software. And, you know, I could have done a lot of this beforehand and just told you about what I did, but I wanted you guys to see, literally see some of what I'm doing, in case, you know, maybe you've never done this with a label maker before. Maybe you've never taken stuff off a jar. Maybe you've never made a Lazy Susan. I don't know. If there's any part that you've never done, and you're like me, you're going to want to see exactly how I did that so you can do it yourself. Okay, so should have put this around the other way, but that's okay because, like I said, there really is no front or back. I'm trying to get these off my hands. I have put that on there now. Don't sweat the small stuff. There we go. So that's on the lid. I think that's cute too. And again, let's see. We could maybe... No, it's still going to... Why is it not going on there? Okay, my lid's being weird right now. Oh, okay. It's tightening the wrong way. Ah, okay, that's weird. Huh. Okay. Trying to see if I can get it to where that would be on the front, or if it's just always going to be that way. Well, kind of. Okay, there you go. On the side. Then, I did make one more full label in tiny lettering that says don't sweat the small stuff. So I'm going to put that on my little drawers because I think it's funny. Come on. If I can get it off. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm telling you. Okay. Come on. We're really almost done. Nearing the finish line. Okay. I think because this has labels on it and this has labels on it and this has the see-through labels, I think I'll put this on this one. Just that way. On top. Just for fun. Don't sweat the small stuff. Okay. Then, I'm not going to sort everything in those piles. I'll just show you really quick a couple of my sorting techniques. Okay, so, for the stuff in the jar, this is what she did on this other tutorial. If I find it, I'll put a link to it in the thing. I put them in little bags. And some I labeled, some I didn't. Like these are some little glue gun mold things I was playing around with, trying one day. Didn't really like how they turned out, but didn't want to throw them out because I might use them for something someday. So those are going to go down the bottom. And then these are some of those mini clothespins. That's going in there. Then a lot of this other stuff is really small stuff, so I did label some stuff. Like these are some clay pieces I found. These are some stickers. These are some rub-ons. I had a little bit left over for that set. These are some charms. Let's see. Small metal pieces. That's some other metal pieces. I didn't even label that one. Earrings. Little earring holds. Some extra labels I printed out and didn't end up using at the time. Some little wood pieces and buttons. Some metal stickers. Little squares, little bronze squares, and some jump rings. And this one says bells because it only has a bell in it. See, I got paint on it earlier. You guys, I'm sloppy. But I know I'm going to find other bells as I clean, and so they'll go in there too. So that way you've got all the little small stuff in there. You can kind of see through and see what's in there. And don't be afraid if you're looking for something or you need something for a project to just dump it all out, because then you can look through really quick and see what you have, and you can very quickly shove it all right back in the jar. Just like this. Just shove it all back in there. And like I said, I love that everything's see-through, even the labels. So, and you can quickly dump it out and see what you've got, and there you go. So now, let's see. For these, what I would do is just dump these out and sort them all into piles. You should do that before making your labels. Dump them all, like I said, I did go through these earlier. Dump them all out, see what you've got, put them into piles of like items, and then make up your labels, you know, depending on how many drawers or little bins or whatever you have that you're sorting them into. So, for time's sake, I'm not going to do that right now. But I will come back to Lady Susan, which is all dry and ready now. And then I could glue these on here, but I think for now I'm just going to set them on here because I may want to rearrange or put other things on there. So I'm putting that on there. Then I'm going to put this on here on this side. And then I'm going to turn around to the back and I'm going to put my jar on there. So now I have, this will sit in the corner of my desk when I clear it off. And I can easily just turn it around and see all those little small things that I have. And this is see-through, the jar is see-through, and these are going to be really easy labels to read. So again, if I need something little for a project, I can just spin my Lazy Susan around and find my little stuff. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And please, 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 if you like this video, like, subscribe so you won't miss other DIYs and tutorials and fun Dollar Tree hauls and, I don't know, craft room organization, shout outs to Dollar Tree customers. I've got so many other ideas for videos coming up, you guys. So please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, give me a shout out, let me know if you met me in person at Dollar Tree, if you're a friend or family, stop in and say hi. If you're interested in purchasing any of my items, it's Kai's Kreations, Kreations spelled with a K, on Facebook and Etsy. I'll try to leave a link below. And if you're a crafter, I have a crafting group I'd love to have you join on Facebook, Crafting with Kai's Kreations. Again, Kai's Kreations, Kreations spelled with a K. So yeah, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Any feedback is welcome as well. I'm new to this stuff. And join my craft group if you want. Come check out my stuff on Facebook and Etsy. Love all of you guys. Happy crafting. Bye.